Morning.
Morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Nick. Okay.
Good morning, everybody.
Call the meeting to order at 8:31, the regular meeting of the Town of New Canaan Board of Selectmen, Monday, November 2nd, 2020. First item is to amend the agenda to add an emergency repair of the boiler at the police department. So I move we amend the agenda to add this item.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, so
That's never happened like yet.
so the first item on the agenda is the minutes. This is a virtual meeting, by the way, by Zoom. First item on the agenda is the amended agenda is the approval of minutes from our last meeting on October 20th. Do I have a motion to approve minutes?
Move it.
Do we have any corrections or comments or corrections or?
None here.
Do I have a motion to approve minutes? Kathleen?
So moved, yep.
Second?
Second here.
All in favor? Okay, the minutes are approved. Public comment. Members of the public are welcome to provide comments to the Board of Selectmen on agenda topics scheduled for review and or vote. Comments should be submitted by email to the following address: BOS distribution, all one word, at canonct.gov. And if we receive comments, we will read them in the course of the meeting. Tucker, you'll be looking for comments. Where's Tucker?
I'm here.
Oh. Okay, next item, we have the superintendent and Katrina Parkhill from the Board of Education for the Saks and West School solar projects. This is a power purchase agreement, which I think the Board of Education has already approved for solar projects at both Saks and West schools with Plankton Energy. Ryan, do you want to, who's going to explain this?
Sure. I'll kick it off and turn it over to Joanne. I just want to say thanks for having us here with you this morning. It's great to see everybody virtually, though it is. As you know, the South project went incredibly well, and we developed a PPA there that we went back and forth with quite a bit on and really wordsmith to get just right. And so we use that as a template going forward with our new projects here with West and with Saks. And so with this PPA, and as we get this completed and hopefully approved, we can move forward with those projects and start saving some energy and realizing some savings. So I'll turn it over to Joanne for the specifics.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize Joanne is on as well. Go, Joanne, do you want to?
Sure. Good morning. As Brian said, the PPA before you was negotiated last year with the South project and attached to the RFP that we sent out to the market. There are going to be a few minor changes with regards to timelines and that we've agreed to, but it substantially conforms to the bid document. The bid that we went out with was a joint bid between town buildings and the schools, and we received very favorable pricing. Saks is 3.48 cents and West is 3.85 cents. So the bidding process did help us lower the cost, which was very positive for the district and the town. We also have a fixed price on the high school of 3.48 cents, providing we do replace some of the roof next year and move forward with a partial project. We have a ZREC application in with the state right now, with Eversource, I should say, the Green Bank. But overall, it's a good deal. It's a good positive step forward in terms of expanding our solar, and we look forward to completing the project.
Very good. Any questions, Kathleen or Nick?
What's next after this?
The high school.
Mm-hmm. And what's the timing on that?
Well, we need to replace the roof. That's going to be part of our capital planning for this coming year. And as we replace the roof, it's going to probably be a 2 to 3 year project. We'll look to replace the most solar positive areas of the roof to get the biggest payback on the solar. And it really depends. We have a lot of mechanicals on the roof, but we hope to start it next summer.
And what's the cost, the plug number for the roof replacement at the high school?
We're having it studied right now. Last year in the budget, it was 7 million or thereabouts. We're having it studied right now. Our consultant's looking at it, and we'll have a price at budget time for us.
7 million, including the solar. That includes the solar installation.
Yeah, no, it's the solar would probably be a PPA again.
Mhm.
But we want to get it in as soon as possible because the tax credits are going down by 4% a year. And we really need to start getting these projects done so we can capitalize on that.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you, Joanne.
Kathleen?
First of all, I commend you for moving these projects along. It's terrific. Just a couple questions, just so I can recall. I remember when the RFP initially came out for both the town and the Board of Ed and actually Waveney, and it came back. Was Plankton one of the ones that we had seen in terms of the bids, or they were one of them?
Yeah, there was 5 bidders.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bidders, yes.
Okay. Were they the lowest at the time? I don't remember their.
Yeah, HESP Solar was the low bidder,
Right.
but they wanted a lot of changes to the PPA that really weren't in our best interest, and we couldn't come to a meeting of the minds.
Okay.
So we went with Plankton, which was very competitive right behind them, to be honest. So,
Right. And they weren't the folks that you used for your previous solar installation, right? They're new.
right, we used Davis Hill, and we've been
Right.
very happy with them. I think they're the low bidder on the town side.
Right.
The
Okay.
last
Kathleen,
RFP.
Kathleen, keep in mind, this is just a financial partner because we're using the same contractor
Right.
that
Yeah.
we use for south and east.
Understood. Yep. Okay. Terrific. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Joanne, did the east roof come in under budget?
It did. Yeah, a few $100,000 you'll have going back to the town. We didn't have many change orders either. That's why I like dealing with HB Fishman. They do a really tight bid spec.
Very
And
good.
very
Okay.
few change orders.
I have no further questions, so I move we approve the power purchase agreement between the New Canaan Public Schools and Plankton Energy for both Saks and West Schools, subject to final legal approval of the PPA as recommended by the Board of Education prior to the time that the superintendent executes and I execute the PPA. Do I have a second?
Second here.
Further discussion? All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you. Brian and Katrina and Joanne, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
As long as the snow stops, we will.
What snow? Just
And
flurries.
the wind, guys. We just lost power about 10 minutes ago,
Oh, wow.
and it came
Wow.
back. But
Okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
All right,
back to
take care,
it.
guys.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Next item, we'll take up the boiler later when we're doing DPW items, but the next item, I'm pleased to report that the Fire Commission has recommended Paul Payne to be our new full-time fire marshal, and Cheryl, how are we going to do this, Cheryl?
I'm on. Yes, I would like to, Paul Payne is actually joining us today. I would like to recommend him starting in the fire marshal's office full-time as of November 9th. The Fire Commission unanimously approved this on Thursday night. And I would like to see that the Board of Selectmen approve this. He has definitely filled in as the fire marshal for us. He has done a great job with the town of New Canaan. He's very excited to be our fire marshal, and I think will work out very well. So.
Questions for Cheryl? Welcome, Paul.
hey, Kevin, to be clear, Paul is, and welcome, Paul. His position is going to be under the auspices of the fire department.
Correct.
Right. There's no sense that he's going to be moved to buildings or whatever. I know there had been some discussions about that.
I think that was a misimpression, people. There were no discussions I was aware of. Nick.
Okay.
Paul, welcome. thank you for your interest in the position. Really pleased to see you being put forward and to be recommended and approved by the commission. Just one question, Cheryl, and just as Paul takes on his new role after the vote, what's the process then for replacing the position that he's giving up?
We are actually starting interviews today. I spoke with Brian Platts, and we are going to look at hiring part-time to start as we go into the winter, especially with COVID, see how busy they are, what is needed down there, and then make a decision in the spring. So right now we will replace with a part-time building inspector.
Okay, terrific. Thank you.
You know, when Paul interviewed, I attended the interviews, and Paul made the point about having more than one set of eyes on projects. And I think since Paul is qualified to be a building inspector, it'll be good to have him having two sets of eyes, two capacities when he's doing inspections. And also John Podgorny is staying on as deputy. So we have a good team to cover the fire marshal position. And I think everyone's very happy, and congratulations, Paul. I think we probably have a unanimous vote here, but I move that we approve the appointment of Paul Payne as fire marshal.
Second.
Further discussion?
Not here.
All in favor? Okay, congratulations, Paul. Welcome to your new position. You want to say anything? You have to come off. You're on mute. Paul, you got to come off the mute.
I'm very thankful for all the support that I've gotten from everybody. Thank you all very much.
Okay. Okay, good job. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay, to public
Thank
work,
you.
spending money. Tiger?
We have to start with that. How about we're saving money? How about that? So I'll give you that. This is a purchase of treated salt for fiscal 21. It's through the Capital Regional Council of Government. They go out with a consortium bid for all the surrounding towns that participate. Morton Salt was the low bid at $62.66, down from $70.10 of last year, so an $8 per ton savings. So I'll hit you with that one instead. We have an agreement whereby we have a minimum purchase as part of the bid spec, and then basically a maximum purchase of 3,000 tons for a total of $187,980. Morton Salt has done a very nice job with providing our treated salts, and we'd like to recommend the approval of the purchase.
I have a question, Tiger. How much salt do we use last year?
I got Mo's online. Mo, do you have that? I knew he was going to ask that question. As I guess Mo's answer would be as the least amount as possible.
Moses on you.
And I should know the answer to this question, but I'll probably be asked in the last 10 years. But Tiger, can
you hear me?
If we don't use a salt, it stays good.
It stays good. That's correct.
That's what I thought. Right.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Okay, so last year was a very soft year. We used about 800 tons,
Wow.
but our average salt use is about just over 1,000 tons.
Okay.
Tiger.
So why are we buying 3,000 tons?
That's our allotment in the bid. That's then up to 3,000.
Yeah.
You never know, Nick. Could be a bad winter.
Right.
Knock on wood that it won't be.
We are
It is
due.
snowing outside.
Yes, and it's just snowed, a couple days ago. So
The price will go up if we have to go back and more than 3,000 tons.
Kathleen, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Tiger, can you just comment on storage of the salt? How much are we able to store, and where is it stored?
Right now it's stored in what used to be the old incinerator building, or the second incinerator building. So it's inside the tipping floor. So it's not the most adequate situation whereby we can't actually dump inside, and we actually have to load our men outside. Mose, do you want to give capacity?
Yeah, we have two bins side by side. They each hold 800 tons. So we have a capacity of 1,600 tons.
I
Think that
suppose
we're ordering 3,000?
it
Yeah,
comes
No,
in-
no, we're not gonna buy.
We're not gonna, right.
Okay,
No. We only buy the salt as we need it.
okay,
They ask us to give them, we anticipate on using no more than, we're hoping, approximately 1,500 tons. So we double that because that's what the salt companies want to make sure they have storage in their facilities to supply us.
I see. So it's like a just-in-time inventory. Once we use what we have, then we ask them to deliver more.
Right. As soon as we can get about like 300 or 400 tons in our shed, then we call and they bring us down 300 or 400 tons at a time as we need it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I suppose, Tiger, you could mention you'd like to have a salt, what do you call it? Salt shelter?
Salt dome, salt barn. Yeah, we are one of the only municipalities in the state that does not have one. We had one prior to our move from Lakeview Avenue over to our present site. So yes, the situation that we have is less than optimal as far as safety and then operationally. So we've been looking to try to replace that or actually install it for 20 plus years now. So the thought is yes, it's been in our budget. It's been sitting in the third outlier year for the past 10 years or more. We'd like to move that forward. We think it's a welcome adjunct, and then the area in concern or the area of the incinerator, we can either reuse or actually remove the incinerator and then reuse the area for different operations for the transfer station.
That's been in the CapEx budget.
Been the
Tiger, for the
CapEx,
last few-
been in the CapEx budget in the third year out, and it just keeps getting carried.
Right.
For $500,000.
Okay. So if there's no other questions, I move we approve the request from Public Works to continue an agreement with Morton Salt to purchase up to 3,000 tons of treated road salt at $62.66 a ton. Do you have a second?
Second.
Further discussion? All in
None.
favor? Okay, that's unanimous, Tiger. Thank you.
Thank you.
De-icing liquid.
The next is de-icing liquids. We actually, when we're pre-treating or we're actually adding some additional de-icing liquids to the treated salt itself. This is a purchase with Innovative for what's Liquid Ice Be Gone or Magic -0, depending upon how you want to call the trade name, for $1.34 a gallon for 4,300 gallons for a total of $5,762. We typically bring these two together, even though this is below the threshold. We felt it necessary to bring the two together. Last year's price was $1.34 a gallon. They had been at $1.28 and 19. The last time we had seen anything higher than $1.34 was in fiscal 12 at $1.35. So we went down a little bit, and now we're coming back up. But it's a necessary addition to our tools for fighting snow and ice.
Questions? I move we approve the request from Public Works to continue an agreement with Innovative Surface Solutions to purchase up to 4,300 gallons of Liquid Ice Be Gone for $1.34 a gallon. Second?
Second here.
Discussion? All in favor? Okay. Thank you, Tiger. Why don't we take up
Thank
the
you. I'll take the boiler now.
the PD boiler now?
Sure. That'll be Bill.
Good morning, everybody. We had Kevin sign an emergency order for $12,810. The police department has two boilers, and during routine maintenance and a tune-up, it was discovered that the older of the two boilers had some issues in the sections and was leaking. They put it was also emitting carbon monoxide to the building, so we had to shut it down. The one boiler is carrying the building for the moment. We like to make this repair to reseal it before it gets too cold. Once we get to about 25 degrees or so, we start using both boilers, and that heats both the police department and the ambulance corps. So the The proposal quote was from Eastern Mechanical Services, who also was our awarded contract to do all the service work with a discount waiver of $125 per hour. So I don't know if it's an approval at this point. Kevin had already signed it, or if you need to, if it's informational, it's.
Well, why don't we approve it since we added it to the agenda? Approval of an emergency repair to the PD boiler for $12,810. That was an estimate, right?
It may be a little less, a little bit more, depending if they find anything once they open it up. I'm hoping for more, less.
That's a lot of hours, 80 hours.
It's 2 men. Yeah, 2 men a week. It's a big boiler. You got to take every section apart. Sections weigh about, I think, 600 pounds each. So it's not a fun job. It's very dirty. But
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Kathleen.
What's the remaining life of this boiler, Bill?
you know, it has life left in it. It's a good boiler. It's a McLean boiler. You know, those boilers can go 40, 50 years if you maintain them very well. I'm trying to recall, I thought I put that boiler in about 20 some odd years ago. Fred of the PD thinks that it was there before that. But it's a great boiler. Matter of fact, the second boiler was put in 2008, I believe, when they did the renovations over there, and it was the same boiler. They're still making them today. It's a good, proven boiler. So as long as we take care of it and every once in a while clean it up and reseal it, they should be fine.
Thank you.
So I move we approve the emergency repair of the police department boiler for an estimated cost of $12,810. Do I have a second?
Second here.
Discussion? All in favor? Okay, thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Getting back to the agenda, Tiger Tree Warden.
Thank you. The tree warden went out for his most recent bid for 19 separate locations. We had 2 bidders, Olmsted and Mill River. They seem to be the most consistent in their returning bids for us. Olmsted was the low at $29,400, and we recommend awarding the job to Olmsted.
Any questions? I move we approve the request of the tree warden to enter into a contract with Olmsted Tree and Shrub Care Company for $29,400 for tree pruning and removal at various locations. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Unanimous?
Thank you.
Okay, next item, number 8, is building committee. So we've, it's time for us to begin to move forward on what we're going to do with the police department building. We've recruited a number of members of a building committee as set forth on our agenda. The first task of this building committee is going to determine what we should do. A number of other towns are looking at the same thing. Do you build a new police department building, or do you renovate what you have? We had actually studied that in the past 2 years, and also to pick an architect, whichever way you go. And as you know, the police department building is in really need of upgrade or replacement. So the proposed members of the committee are Paul Tully, Bill Walbert, Jim Bell, Michael Chen, Amy Murphy Carroll, Penny Ration, and Paul Foley as regular members, and the chief, the deputy chief, and the captain, Andrew Walsh, as ex officio members. We probably will add public works ex officio members later on, but for now, I recommend we appoint this building committee and get on with the project of studying what to do. Questions?
For timeline, Kevin, in terms of, you're starting soon, and what's the plan in terms of when they might come back with a recommendation?
Well, I think they need to take several months to study, because if we could find the right land in town, or possibly just build a new building directly behind the current building, building a new building has some advantages, especially because it's very costly to operate while you're renovating in place. As we discovered with the fire department, it's not optimum. And a new building will last 80 or 100 years, and renovated, but I think it was Bill Oatsman that said usually you only get two renovations out of a building. We've got a high school that was renovated to be a police department and further renovated. And that building has pluses and minuses. It's a beautiful building on the outside and it's a great location, but it's not ideal for police operations, given the changes in over time as to what police departments should be. But so the first, I expect they'll take 4 to 5 months to study what to do.
Okay, thank you.
This is something that needs to be done. We've known this for a number of years. But let's face it, the police department building is not a warm place when you walk into. It's dark, it's cramped, it's not user friendly. And while I don't like to have to undertake large new building projects, I do think this is something that we put off and put off and put off, and it needs to get done. And this is a good start. I think we've got a great committee here, and I look forward to hearing their recommendations as to how we go forward.
I should have mentioned too that Stuart Salabini, former chairman of the Police Commission, will be an advisor to the committee. Stuart is the head of CERT and has a lot on his plate already, but he has a lot of institutional knowledge and he will be an advisor to the committee. So with that, I move we approve the formation of a building committee for the police department projects and appoint the individuals on our tablets as I just named them. So
Second here.
Further discussion? All in favor? That's unanimous. Appointment to the Board of Finance. So as you know, Bob Spangler is stepping down after, I think, 16 years. Is that what I recall? Terrific service. We're going to miss Bob. But because his term ends on November 15th, and the appointment of the appointment of new members and reappointments have to be approved by the town council. We're going to move this today, and by the time the town council approves, Bob's term will have expired. So therefore, we're moving the reappointment of Neil Budnick to a regular member term expiring November 15th, 2024, and the appointment of Chris Labrise as the regular member whose term will expire November 15th, 2024, leaving a alternate spot available. And both appointments are subject to town council approval. So any questions or?
Just, I believe a submission has been made, a recommendation has been made thus far from the DTC for the alternative slot.
I have not seen one. I have not seen one, Kathleen. Maybe I.
Okay, I'll double check.
Yeah. No further questions. I move this approval of the both appointments, reappointment and appointment. Second.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Not here.
Okay. Now we have an appointment to the Parks and Recreation Commission. Doug Richardson moved out of town. And therefore, this is a young man, Jake Granita, who I didn't really know, but he's interested in serving on town government. He's, I think, 27 years old. He currently works for AP Construction, is the project manager over at the View project. He's a native, his family lives in town, and I think, Nick, you probably know Jake, the family. And I move the appointment of Jake to be a member of the Parks and Recreation Commission for a term expiring December 1, 2021.
I will give a hearty second to that. When I saw this, I was like, who is Robert John Granito? I mean, everybody knows the Granitos. And then I realized it's Jake. So I think it's a great appointment. It's good to get somebody in their 20s on one of our committees. I don't want to be ageist, but I do think diversity includes having younger people serving government. And so I'm delighted to second the nomination of Jake. who I've known for years.
Actually, on the agenda, I think we amended the agenda because we actually had his brother's name, James, down there. This Jake's legal name is John Robert.
Right.
And so we got that straightened out. And also, I'd like to acknowledge and thank Doug Richardson for his service to the commission.
Absolutely.
So with that, I move the appointment of Jake Granito to the Parks and Recreation Commission. Do I have a second? Are we in discussion or where are we?
I think I seconded it. We're in discussion, so we're voting.
Okay, all in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you. Cheryl, do you want to address the appointment of Aggie as the permanent director of human resource? No.
Yes, I will take over. I would like to recommend Aggie going as our interim director to a permanent director at the Lapham Community Center. Lynn Bond retired in July. She has been with us part-time. Aggie has worked tirelessly through COVID. For any of you who have been on, she runs anywhere from 5 to 10 Zooms a day. We also had hired Marcy Rand, who's a social worker with Human Services, and she has been working very closely with her. So we do have that social work component. Once we do open, Marcy will be over there, if not every day, every other day, working with our seniors. So I think it's a good relationship between Marcy and Aggie, and I think Aggie deserves the director position effective immediately.
Which I heartily endorse. I worked with Aggie several years, and she does a terrific job. And in this age of COVID, she's doing a terrific job with Zoom classes and Zoom social events. And so I'm very pleased to approve Aggie as the director of the Lapham Center. Do I have a second? Kathleen? Further discussion?
I just wanted to say, first of all, I obviously support Aggie's offer of this particular position, but I just want to say also to Cheryl and to the administration, the fact that going back to Tiger Man, the fact that we are promoting from within is just really a testament for the quality of the people that we have in our organization. And I think that's terrific. Linda is another example of that. So this is a really great testament to say about the quality of all of our people in our town.
I concur with that, Kathleen. All right, all in favor? That's unanimous. Everything's unanimous today. Okay, moving to hiring of a public health nurse. Cheryl.
Yes, this will be a position that will be covered under a grant that we will be getting from the state of Connecticut. We had put the advertisement out. We had received 11 resumes. We interviewed 4. We would like to recommend Amy Ballard. She will be working part-time. It is a grant covered under the state for 2 years. She will be working 14 to 20 hours per week. She is coming out of the state of Connecticut. She has been working in the tech schools. She has done COVID testing, contact tracing, and I think will be a great asset to Jen to help her with this contact tracing. So I would like to recommend that Amy come aboard. She will start with us next Monday.
I thought it was a 3-year grant, just 2 years?
It's going to be 3, but we're kind of a little behind the time with getting it moving ahead. So we'll have it for 2.5 years.
Okay. Questions?
None here.
We very much need further resources in the health department as we fight COVID. So I move the approval of this request from Human Resources to hire Amy Ballard as a part-time public health nurse for the health department. Second.
Second here.
Nick seconds. Further discussion? All in favor? That's unanimous.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is planning for next year. There's a schedule for our regular meetings for next year on the tablets, which quite honestly I did not study, but I hope I agree with it. Did you have any either of you have any questions about the,
Yeah, I haven't studied either. Should we just get back to Tucker to confirm it all works?
Yeah, Tom put it together before he left, and he and I went over it, so it looks good to us.
so the budget in January, and then it's pretty much
Regular meetings.
regular meetings. We have one meeting where it gets to be a Monday meeting in,
Again, at election day time. Yep.
okay. And then we have one, we occasionally skip it to 3 weeks, but I have no questions, or I move we approve the proposed regular meeting schedule for the calendar year 2021. Second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, bringing us to tax overpayments. There's several automobile and one real estate tax overpayment on the tablet. Any questions about those?
None here.
I move the approval of the tax overpayments on our tablets.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor? It occurred to me that we don't actually get the detail of who the tax overpayments are to. So we're kind of approving blindly.
There's detail.
Yeah, there's a second page, Kevin, with all the names.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there is.
A lot of car lease payments and things like that.
You have to
Right.
turn your head to the left to see them, but
It's all there. It always has been there.
Gotcha. Okay. Contracts. There's several contracts under $10,000 that are on your tablets to review. Any comments? No. That brings us to the last item on our agenda, Selectmen's comments. I will make a few comments. First of all, COVID. Stanford and Norwalk turned red around us. And as I said on the call on Friday night, we're not going to be an island in this pandemic. And we need to have our eyes wide open as to what's going to unfold in the next few weeks. It looks like there's a second wave coming. And we're going to have to begin to address further actions. And the EOC is going to begin to meet twice a week rather than once a week. And I have no specific actions to mention now, but I just want to mention we are obviously concerned that the state of Connecticut is heading in the direction of a second wave. So I guess that's all I have.
want to just confirm the testing. I'm still thinking about the town testing.
Oh, I'm sorry. We are working to stand up community testing. We're going to do the schools, the SACs and the high school this Friday. And next Monday and Tuesday, I believe, or Monday and Wednesday, we're going to be standing up community testing. We're still working on that, so I don't have really the final details, but we feel we should get a better handle on exactly what the picture is in New Canaan. And that will lead us to further decisions.
We as a town, came through the first phase in pretty good shape. It's a testament to all the people, volunteers and staff and employees. Was the school openings, the development of the virtual program for the schools, the testing that we had in town, which is unlike most other communities in Connecticut. And so I'm guardedly confident that we'll be able to survive in good order a second wave, were it to come. And hopefully it won't, but I expect it will.
Kathleen, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Just on budget, if, and we reviewed this actually, but I just want to clarify dates and so forth. So obviously your team is putting together their internal budgets, present to you presumably. And then the first, I guess, order that we'll see is in mid-January. Is that right? Do we
Correct.
see something in advance? What, about a week or so in advance, Linda?
Yes. So typically what happens is, you know, the budget guidance team of the Board of Finance is working and they're hoping to present it in November. Once they present that in November, then we will work with, we will send that guidance to the department, including the Board of Education, and then they start putting their budgets together. They'll submit those by mid to end December. Then the first selectman and myself and Cheryl and Tiger, we meet and we kind of go over it. And then there is a budget that's presented to the Board of Selectmen. I believe that's the date you're talking about in January. Typically what we like to do is get it to you at least a week to 10 days before that date so that you have it. And then you can review it. So that's probably when you'll start seeing some numbers related to the budget. So it'll be early January.
Okay, great. And we're expecting the memo to come out from the Board of Finance this month, in a week or 2 weeks? When is it usually?
Their meeting is.
Yeah, usually they'll approve it at their November meeting. There may be a draft going back and forth between the boards, but I think it'll be, once they set out the agenda packet, it may be part of that agenda packet for November.
Okay.
Kathleen, Linda has created a budget model, which is the Board of Finance is working with. We could share that with you and Nick.
Please.
It's been shared with the Board of Education for the first time. And actually this year we're going to, the Board of Finance is having conversations with the Board of Education before they finalize their budget guidance. Okay. So a lot of pre-planning work is going into this before they issue their guidance.
Does the Board of Selectmen or each of us as individuals submit our own thoughts, questions, et cetera, to the Board of Finance? How does that work?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I think last meeting, the Board of Finance had invited comments from the town council. Mm-hmm. And for me, and I extended the same offer to you, that if you want to give comments, you, especially if you want to play with the budget model, you can.
So yeah, if Linda would send the budget model, that'd be great. And to whom do we direct comments to? Would it be directly to Todd Lauderi?
I'd give them to Todd, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Tucker, have we gotten any comments from the public?
We have not. Nothing.
Okay. Anything else, or should we adjourn? I move we adjourn at 9:14.
Second here.
All in favor? Have a good day. Have a good election day.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.